What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 49, and we're starting today's episode off with a performance review meeting being scheduled. My position at the club currently under close observation, despite the fact we've just won the Premier League. Yep, of course, in the last episode, our win over Everton at the Etihad Stadium ensured we'd won the Premier League. Then we beat Leicester by 2-0 to further cement it. Haaland scoring the second in that game, meaning now he's tied the record with Salah for 32 goals in a single Premier League season. But the board still not happy. Not surprised either. Gave me a monster transfer budget. I rebuilt the team. I brought the band back together. We were knocked out of the EFL Cup in the quarterfinals. We were knocked out of the FA Cup in the quarterfinals. No Wembley appearances. No domestic cups. Yes, the Premier League back in the bag, but really with the team we've got and no European football or hangovers to worry about, that was the minimum expectation anyway. No doubt about it. Board considering now, as we close out the season, Premier League champions but nothing else. Is it going to be one and done for Docksy Boy at the Etihad Stadium? Well, first game of the final two, final away day away at Anfield against Liverpool. Desperate to get back in the Champions League right now in 5th place this season in the Premier League. Away from home in a battle between two rivals. The rivalry has really spawned into something special in the past few seasons, with Guardiola and Klopp at the helm of their respective clubs. I've said it before, whether you are a Man City fan, whether you are a Liverpool fan, or like me, you're a neutral, the games are just something special, aren't they? I mean, they're so good. Even this season in the Community Shield, you know, I talked about it not too long ago. That was the Community Shield, Haaland versus Nunez for the first time. It was a 3-1 win for Liverpool in the end, but even the Community Shield, which a lot of people call a glorified friendly, was still so dramatic, so tense. It was brilliant, and I just love the rivalry these two teams have, man. And again, whether you're a Man City fan or a Liverpool fan, I think mutual respect given for fans of both clubs, but it's a joy as a neutral to watch these guys go toe-to-toe every single season. Anyway, in the final away day of the season, nothing for us to play for now, but I wanted to get Haaland a record, and as you can see, look at this. It had a couple of shots saved by Alisson, and then this goal disallowed for offside. I thought he was on initially. I thought I timed the ball perfectly. I thought he was on. You see Trent probably just about stepped up and saw Haaland a toe offside, but with 5.5 minutes to go, I would get the record. How many times have we talked about goalkeeper distribution in this year's FIFA? And yeah, don't get me wrong, like, goalkeepers make mistakes. And I've mentioned before, we see nowadays in FIFA, every now and then, a goalkeeper will make a howler. Because it's realistic, it's real life. I mean, we saw last weekend with the De Gea howler at Brentford. Josh De Silva's effort squirming, and I mean squirming through his hands. Look, goalkeepers make mistakes. It's realistic, it should happen. But I think that the distribution in particular is just a bit too unrealistic. Like, it seems like every single game there'll be one throw or one kick from a goalkeeper that's really poor and puts his team in a heap of trouble. Exactly what happened there. Alisson's one of the best distributors in the Premier League. That throw was Sunday League-esque. It was awful. That was like me in junior football. That's as far as I could throw it. It was terrible. Absolutely awful. Quick ball by KDB. And to be fair, it's a great finish by Haaland. For the record, for the 33, to do it at Liverpool felt quite cool as well. Obviously, Salah got the record a few years ago now, but even so, we win it by a goal. Haaland gets it. That season, get the record with 33, and he's going to the final day. Really anticlimactic, to be honest. Here, we'd won the title. Liverpool could still overtake Manchester United, but they needed the favour from their rivals Everton, and they needed to win themselves. And the bottom three had already been decided, as did the Golden Boot. So it was a really anticlimactic final day. One of the most anticlimactic in Premier League history, I think. Yes, 4th could be changed on the final day, but other than that, and it would need a big swing. There was very little to report going to the final day. Those anticlimactic final days, man. Because look, we all love a good final day. Last season was as dramatic as it gets. You know, Man City's comeback win against Aston Villa to snatch the title. Well, not snatch the title away, but just about hold on to the title, I should say, from Liverpool, who they themselves beat Wolves. And don't forget, Wolves in that game were leading at Anfield. In that game, started the game off as well. In the end, Liverpool came from behind to win, but Man City did the same against Aston Villa from 2-0 down. Obviously, there was the bottom three in the final day. Leeds scored a last-minute winner against Brentford. Obviously, they're going to be safe anyway, but they weren't to know that. Burnley ended up going down last season. Like, final days, the more dramatic, the better. We all agree on that, right? This was just so meaningless, and I was thinking, should I simulate this? Like, should I simulate it? There's nothing to play for. This game doesn't affect Arsenal standings. Doesn't matter to us. We already won the title. Can't set any team records for goals scored, best defence, more points. Can't set any team records. Haaland's already got the golden boot and set the Premier League record for goals as well. Shall I simulate this one? There's nothing to play for, is there? You know, but obviously I tried not to simulate any games during a season, as you know. I often talk about on the subject of simulation. I say this: play the game how you want, man. Like, play the game how you want. If I simulate, fine. If I play every game, fine. Totally up to you. But for a realistic career mode like this one is, it wouldn't make any sense to simulate it. And of course, I was still hopeful I'll get to see the celebrations come the end of the final whistle as well for lifting the trophy. In the end, we considered the first half penalty for Aymeric Laporte, but talk about 0 to hero. I don't know what I was doing on the other end with Thomas Partey. I flew into the Ghanaian with no regard for human life. That was a terrible challenge. One of my worst tackles of all time. What was I doing there? I don't know. Took Partey down, definite penalty. Saved by Edison, and then 9 minutes after the restart, Laporte 0 to hero. Pops up with his first and only goal of the season and heads in from a corner. What a swing for Aymeric Laporte. So that will do it. Final score 1-0 on the final day. As we do win the Premier League, and we do win it with a couple of games on the bounce. Well, 4 straight wins on the bounce, I think, as winners. So, yeah, delighted with that, but again, didn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. To be honest, I just wanted to see the celebrations come to final whistle, because we hadn't seen them. I thought surely they'll come on the final day at the Etihad, and they would as well. So, there you go. 1 out of 3 won by Manchester City. Back-to-back seasons in this save, with no trophies. They won nothing in the first season and finished in 7th. Last season they had no European football because of our FA Cup win, and also finished in 11th place. So back-to-back seasons without a trophy, back-to-back seasons without European football, but we got them back to where they fell from. Premier League champions, and back in the big time, the Champions League for next season as well. That was my minimum expectation this season, my bare minimum expectation. And we just about came through with it. I mean, we won the title quite comfortably in the end by 14 points. But, I mean, how would you rank this season, really? You know, I've got to be honest here. For a Manchester City only winning the Premier League. Now, that was the case last season. They only won the Premier League last season. They had the collapse in the Champions League semi-final. Didn't get to the cup final of either the FA or the EFL Cup either. It's not a competition too many people care about. I say competition, not a game many people care about. Also, Community Shield, lest we forget, last season Leicester City beat Man City in the Community Shield last season. So the only honour they got last year in real life was the Premier League. So I guess you could call it realistic that we only won the Premier League. But when you think about the money we spent to rebuild this team, bring all the players back, Gundogan, Stones, so on and so forth, that had previously left the club, and of course he brought Erling Haaland in, he set the record. But to only end up with 1 trophy out of 3, the Premier League, no European hangovers to worry about, but I still only managed the Premier League, and I didn't even get to the semi-final of the FA Cup or the EFL Cup. I'll tell you how I rate this season, quite honestly, 4 out of 10. Yeah, 4 out of 10. I mean, literally, I wanted to keep the team realistic, and I did, but this is one of the best teams in the world. 5-star, unbelievable. Haaland, of course, the best striker in the game right now. 4 out of 10. Yeah, quite seriously, because, you know, at one point, we were on course for a domestic treble. At one point, we were on course for an invincible season. I got neither, and I only got 1 trophy. Yeah, a 4 out of 10. The bare minimum was expected of me this year was to win the Premier League. That's all I could do. All I could do, as West Brom, Norwich and Newcastle United in the end were indeed relegated. So, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I got Haaland the goal record. That's a really nice sort of side quest there, getting Haaland the goal record with 33. But, considering the red-hot start he had, I'm actually quite disappointed I only did it by 1. I should have got him close to 40. In the end, I only sneaked to 33 and just about got it. I love this though. The top 5 assist makers, all Man City players. Haaland, Silva, Batman and Robin, KDB, Grealish and Foden, with Haaland winning the assist title along with the Golden Boot as well. And this was kind of cool, to be fair. I won the Golden Glove with Edison as well, thanks to those 2 clean sheets in the final 2 games, beating Edouard Mendy. Don't expect that to happen ever again in FIFA 22 for me. I think that's probably the first time I got a goalkeeper to win the Golden Glove. I'm so bad at defending, but somehow, miraculously, had the best defensive record this season, and Edison won the Golden Glove as well. As for the team of the season, though, quite interesting this. Haaland, of course, won the player of the season, but Mendy got into the goalkeeper, into the team of the tournament, despite the fact Edison was goalkeeper of the tournament. So how that works, I don't really know. And, of course, Edison won the Golden Glove, but even so, we all love Mendy, so fair play. But you see there, Ruben Diaz, João Cancelo, and Batman and Robin were in the team of the season. Only 4 players. Only 4 players, but I guess I'm not that surprised, to be fair. So, yeah, there you go. Manager rating drops to 52. Another performance review meeting being scheduled. And I guess the question is now, does it end there? Or do we stay on? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. In the end, the EFL Cup was won by Liverpool, beat Newcastle on penalty. So an EFL Cup won by Liverpool on a penalty shootout. I love the realism there. As for the FA Cup, knocked out in the quarterfinals, Crystal Palace! Go on, the boys! I left Crystal Palace in the summer, and they've won their second FA Cup in 3 years. Crystal Palace, go on the boys! 3 straight seasons of Europa League football at Selhurst Park as well. I love it when you leave a team and they still do well. And speaking of doing well, as Fiorentina won the Europa Conference League, in the Europa League, Crystal Palace avenged their demons against Atalanta, made it into the semis, knocked out Betis, but came up short to Sevilla in the Europa League final. Historically, the best ever team in the Europa League. No one's won the Europa League more times than Sevilla. They've won it in the game as well. Went all the way, and had they won it, it would have been their first ever European honour and into the Champions League. So unlucky. But as for the Champions League this season, it was a PSG versus Juventus final, but Juve for the first time since 1996. 1995. 96, 95, one of the two. I think it's 1996. It was 95 or 96. They beat Ajax in the final back then. Can't remember if it was 95 or 96. I think it was 96 anyway. But even so, Juventus finally capture another Champions League, their third in their history. So that would do it for our first season with Manchester City. The most important thing this season was we kept our squad realistic, and as you see it there, it is. It's practically the same team they got in real life with a couple of new additions such as the Ketelaere, and of course the lad I bought in, Max Aarons, as well from Crystal Palace after last year being in the team of the season last year. And also, by the way, a couple of episodes ago I talked about this. Obviously I predicted that Sousa was going to be the fullback that Man City signed to replace Zinchenko. He was looking quite likely about a week and a half ago, but obviously I'm recording these commentaries in advance. It's now been announced that Sergio Gomez, Man City have agreed to Theo van der Leer, and he will be the guy coming in. So for realism, what I've done is I've given Sousa away. He's going back to Germany, and we're going to bring in Gomez. He's 3 ratings lower than Sousa, but it's for the realism. Sousa going back to the Bundesliga, and Gomez, who is going to be the new fullback to replace Zinchenko. Well, as things stand, still might not happen, but I think he's been spotted in Manchester already, and the fee's been agreed. So bar an almighty collapse in terms in that deal, that should go through within the course of the next couple of days or so. So yeah, we're going to get Gomez in, and Sousa's going to go the other way. It means our squad takes a slight hit in terms of ability, but the most important thing is it becomes more realistic, as is the key theme of the save. But with Manchester City, the question is this: does it end there, or do we stay? Now, I'd love to stay. I'd love to go into another season, try and reclaim the Premier League, or retain the Premier League, I should say, go further in the domestic cups, try and take it away from Crystal Palace after 2 wins in their last 3, and of course for the first time play Champions League football too. But what did the board think, and what would be the best thing to do here? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm very undecided at this point in time right now. It wouldn't be too unrealistic for the board to pull the trigger and say, well, the money you spent, you let us down, no Wembley appearances, and only by the bare minimum winning the Premier League. But then again, would they say after 2 trophyless years, we bought one back and we're back in the Champions League? That's good enough considering what happened with Guardiola over the past 2 years. I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to think about it. Stay or leave? Well, we'll find out tomorrow. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Summer Career, guys. Big thank you for watching our first season with Manchester City and Season 3 as a whole. If you've enjoyed it, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you for what comes next very soon. I'm very undecided. I'll have to have a think about it. But I'll see you for tomorrow morning very soon.